to get everyone on the same page in case of emergency. Guilford County Schools also has a new set of safety protocols, those touchless body scanners at high schools. The goal is to keep guns out of school buildings. Parents and students were able to try out the scanners yesterday at open house. Meantime, GCS leaders broke ground on 3 more schools today. Construction is now underway at Faust Elementary, Visual and Performing Arts Academy, and Peck Elementary. The district will use bond money approved by Greensboro voters back in 2020. They broke ground on 3 other schools yesterday. In all, 22 schools will be rebuilt and 19 fully renovated. Tonight, the State Health Department is holding a town hall about the importance of COVID vaccines. It's part of a statewide initiative reminding people to stay up to date on shots heading into the new school year. You can watch it live on Facebook and ask questions. You can also dial into the meeting through the number on your screen. The meeting starts at 6 p.m.
This Saturday, the Reedsville Park and Recreation Teen Center will reopen for the first time since closing its doors due to COVID more than 2 years ago. The Teen Center was established in 2004 to serve youth ages 10 through 17. It offers after-school programs such as homework assistance, STEM programming, career readiness, and more. Parks and Recreation Superintendent Quentin Robertson says the reopening of the Teen Center will offer many different and innovative programs.
So we're tapping into things like visual arts and graphic design, incorporating different musical techniques that we see that kids are doing TikToks and creating their own musical videos. So we're trying to create content or a place where kids can kind of create content in a safe haven, but also tap into life skills.
In addition to academic and mentorship programs, the center will offer special events like field trips, holiday parties, and cookouts. Robertson says it's important to create an atmosphere for youth where they can develop skills in whatever they have interest in.
Once we have them in a program at 5, we want to make sure that they're there when they're 7. We want to make sure that they're there when they're 12. And by that time, they have some skills and some ethics and some development of what it is that they might want to go and pursue then.
The Teen Center will be open on Saturdays from noon to 8 p.m. and Mondays through Thursdays from 4 to 8 p.m. For details on how to get involved, just look for the story on our website. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what did your parents do to keep you busy after school? Kent Maxwell says, if I wasn't playing sports after school, I had a job. When school was out for the summer, they put me in camp or went to visit family. There wasn't much idle time. Elizabeth Watson wrote, I went to Nana and Grandpa's house to do my homework and watch TV. Joe Nappy says, my father was part owner of a bowling alley. I was always there. Eric Chin, karate class, drum lessons, and hung out at Grandma's. And then Melita Hatley says, homework, chores, and play outside. So for me, I did a lot of after-school programs at the school, like the YMCA after-school program, because both of my parents worked, so I would go there after school. And then I did that until I was about 11. So then I was old enough to go home after school by myself. And then once I was in middle school, I was involved in sports and activities, and in high school, so I just did that after school.
It's elementary school, so my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and so I was always home playing with kids in the neighborhood and eating popsicles all the time. It was in high school and middle school was when I got into the drama class. You and I both were into that, and I was involved in that for hours after school every day.
Yeah, I kind of similar lines. I went to this walked to this daycare that was very close to school when I was very little, and then kind of became a latchkey kid and took the bus home, and mom and dad didn't get home for a while, so we were watching TV or doing whatever. And then once we got into sports and after school, that's basically what took up all of our time.
And how many siblings? I've forgotten how many.
2 younger sisters.
2 younger, so all of you were in charge.
Can you believe I was in charge and I was supposed to be the good example?
I hope you were. Of course you were, Chad.
Was it the other way around?
They're both still alive now and doing well.
They're okay.
They made jobs and
productive adults.
Exactly.
Good to hear.
What do you have your kids involved in after school, or do they go home? Do they have a babysitter?
They usually go home. Now the twins, when they were, of course, they're in college now, but when they were in high school, they always had stuff with their friends. They did run track for a little bit. And Drew is now, my girl is into cheerleading, so she does cheer practice 2 days a week and a game, blah, blah, blah. So we're running all over the place all the time.
And then even after the after-school activities, me and my sister were in church choir, we took piano lessons, so we were always doing something. Somehow we were able to manage to do our homework in between all the activities, but we always had something to do.
My 12-year-old Tyler, he doesn't want to do anything.
Really?
I have to get
That
him.
might change.
I think
now
it
that
will.
he's going into middle school.
Yeah, he's starting middle.
He'll
We
be
had
like,
an open
"Dad,"
house this morning.
He will be like, I want to join this club. Or,
That's what I'm hoping. Well, you have to push him sometimes.
Yeah. How was open house?
Get ready to be pushed. It was good. It was good. You know, the good thing for us is that we're going. All the people from our elementary school are going to go to the same middle school,
yeah.
so we know a lot of people to start out. So he was a little nervous, but he'll be fine. You know how that goes.
Another chapter.
That's right.
Well, sticking with school, we're helping students and teachers start the year off right with our Tools for School drive. Put newly purchased supplies in donation boxes at participating Walmart stores. We'll also have a one-day supply drive. That's tomorrow at the Walmart on Battleground Avenue. We'd love to see you there. The supply drive runs through September 5th. And throughout the back-to-school season, we're focusing on the stories that matter to parents most. Let us know any concerns or questions you'd like us to cover. Just text the word survey to 336-379-5775 and we'll respond with a link to our parent survey.
Today has been a very nice day across the Triad. Beautiful weather as compared to the last couple of days. We have these cumulus clouds sticking with us across High Point, but the sunshine has been peeking through as well. Current conditions across the area have been in the 80s. 85 in Greensboro, 85 in Burlington, 84 in Winston-Salem, 82 in Asheboro. A very nice start to the midweek. 82 as we look to other temperatures as we look further north as well, staying cool. August has seen some wet days. The last couple of days adding to that, your Monday and your Sunday, both of which topping off over a ½ inch of rainfall. Now overall this month we've seen upwards around 3.5 inches of rainfall just in this month alone. Now if you're in other locations across the Triad, maybe Burlington, even folks down in Asheboro, some cities I mentioned earlier, you've seen different rainfall totals than what we saw at PTI. You may have seen way more of them, especially in the southern edge of Guilford County. Northern edge of Guilford County. Yesterday, you guys got a significant amount of rainfall in a 24-hour time span. Some folks have seen more than others, but overall throughout the month of August, it has been quite wet. Tonight, expecting things to be dry, temperatures falling down to around those mid to upper 60s, staying clear. So we're not expecting an active radar site for tonight or even the day tomorrow. In fact, weather temperatures are looking good, weather looking great, and similar, kind of a copy and paste for your Wednesday. I'll talk more about the weekend coming up.
Hey, have you voted for this week's Game of the Week? Friday Football Fever, the poll is now open. It is live on WFMYnews2.com. Just click on the Sports tab and select Game of the Week.
Take a look at your screen to see the 5 matchups. Remember, you can vote as many times as you like, but you've only got till tomorrow, so act fast.
Sometimes we let Eric out of his cage to see what he can come up with. He likes to call this Chilton's Useless Trivia. Today it's family pictures in the 1800s and a revealed secret of the U.S. Postal Service.
Did you know that way back in the 1800s, they didn't say cheese when you got your picture taken? No, they said prunes. Prunes. I'm like, why? Why? Well, it's because back then it was looked upon as being goofy if you smiled during photos. Some people think it was because of the technology cameras. You had to hold the pose for a long time. Otherwise the picture would be blurry because the way cameras were operated back then. And it's a lot easier to just stare than it is try to hold a smile. Whatever the reason, nobody smiled back in the 1840s. And they did say prunes to keep their mouth taut instead of cheese to make you smile. Prunes. Prunes. Duck lips before there were duck lips. I don't know about you, I love sushi, especially with the wasabi. In fact, I can't have it without the wasabi, it's so good. But did you know, wasabi is very expensive to make. So most of the companies nowadays use horseradish. It's not even real wasabi. In fact, real wasabi in reality is milder than what most of us get in our sushi packets. You know, we mail packages and letters, sometimes every day, at least every few weeks or so. And you name, address, and zip code. Zip code. I thought, what is a zip code? Well, I did the research. So this goes back to 1944, and a postal worker named Robert Moon, he came up with the idea. The first number in your zip code represents a group of states, from 0 being some on the East Coast, and then it works its way all the way up to 9 if you head out toward California. Think of Beverly Hills 90210, right? That's the first number. The next two numbers represent which regional postal facility will handle the processing of that mail. So a few years later, they say, we got to make this even better. We've talked about what group of states this letter will go to and what regional processing facility. The last two numbers tell them what actual local post office or postal zone that letter will go to. And they said, boy, this is great. It's such an improvement. It is a Zone Improvement Plan, or the ZIP code, zip code. Now you know.
All right, everybody say prunes.
Prunes. Look at your face when you say that.
I'm still smiling. Prunes.
That's terrible.
It is horrible.
It is. But you notice they're never cheesy in those photos.
So there were two, I guess, schools of thought, and I couldn't find a definite answer. They said they weren't sure. It was either socially not, like you didn't smile in pictures. They thought that was goofy, you had to be serious. The other school of thought is that cameras had to be held still long enough to have the exposure open for you to get the picture. So if you moved or smiled or something, it would be blurry. And so they said it was easier for them to stare blankly than to smile for that long.
Look creepy.
They
I wonder how
creepy.
that turned over time to
They said it was,
smiling.
I read that too, but it was 1920s and 30s when people actually started smiling in pictures. I'm not sure why. But that was crazy. But I like the zip code thing. I thought that was interesting.
I'm going back to like cheese. So like, why cheese? You know, obviously because it makes that look, but like, who came up with that? And how did it spread across the planet?
Yes. Cheese.
Cheese.
Look at everyone.
That could be your next useless trivia, to figure out how cheese.
Why the word, why they used to. Okay, I'll look that up. I'll do that one. The wasabi thing was interesting to me because I wonder if I've ever really had real wasabi then.
Right, because you said it's more mild.
They said it was milder if you actually get wasabi, but it's really expensive to make. So that paste that they have in the sushi things that you buy at the grocery store and at sushi restaurants is usually horseradish and food coloring.
Do you eat it? I don't.
I love it.
I
Push it to the side.
The first time I had it on sushi, I didn't know what it was, and I just plopped it in my mouth, and it burned so much. So ever since then, I don't put that on my sushi.
It's I can't hardly eat sushi without it. I love it.
When we were in college, this is going to be a TMI conversation, but one of our friends wasn't scared of wasabi. He had never heard of it, so he said, "Well, just snort a little bit of it."
No.
In a
Oh my
restaurant. And so he
gosh.
snorted it, and it was really bad. He never did it again.
It's horrible, horrible.
That's something you do to a little kid. I don't think
Right.
Right? It's horrible.
Now,
would do.
how do we transition to you?
I
Dave?
know. Just gonna
Okay.
Good luck.
Well,
do it.
we're just talking about food, and this U Day, we're talking about garbage. Would you eat garbage? Transition? No. It may seem like an odd question, but how we think about garbage has a lot to do with how we think about ourselves. Listen to Coach Lamont explain.
Would you eat out of a garbage can or play in the garbage? My assessment is probably not. However, for many of us, this is the illustration of our thinking. You continue to consume garbage thoughts and play in the mire of their very existence. This means that the thoughts you continue to circulate are not thoughts beneficial to your personal growth. Be aware, we are constantly exposing our thoughts to the world. If you have garbage can thinking, you'll create a garbage can world. Could your stinking thinking be adding to the issues around us? In this case, your thoughts are not feeding people, they're polluting people. The key to good thinking? Consume thoughts that strengthen you and make you healthy-minded. We must cease treating our minds like garbage cans, just letting anything live there. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Tuesday, August 23rd. What a beautiful way to begin the day. This is a look at a time lapse of the sun rising over Truist Field in Winston-Salem. Then the clouds roll through the afternoon, bringing in some upper level clouds as well as some mid-level and low-level clouds throughout the afternoon. Some news to share with you. Today is the last day where we're going to have an 8 p.m. sunset until April. We're going to start to see that sun setting earlier and earlier over the next several weeks. In about 6 weeks, we're talking 6:59 p.m., even earlier than 7 p.m. So the days are going to seem shorter as we continue to venture into the winter season, the fall and then the winter season. But as of now, summer's still with us for a little while longer, but those days are getting a little bit shorter. Tonight, temperatures falling to 67, staying mostly clear and comfortable. Have you enjoyed the refreshing air of the low humidity today? Well, it's sticking with us tomorrow. Maybe a slight nudge, a tweak in the forecast for tomorrow, maybe a hair or two warmer. Not still seeing any 90s across the area, but getting close to it, and a hair or two more humid as we go throughout the day. Today has been quite comfortable. Well, if you've sat in the sun, well, it still gets hot, but it's going to feel a little bit more humid as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Now, as we end the week, those storm chances increase, and the temperatures, well, not really changing much, not too much variation. Your Friday and Saturday, the best chances for us to see storms, and then as we get to the start of next week, we get back into a more typical pattern with afternoon storm chances across the area.
One sea lover made her mermaid dreams come true. Check out these pictures from meteorologist Amelia Henderson at our sister station in Jacksonville, Florida. She says for years she wanted to channel her inner Ariel and finally got the chance to do so. On a recent trip to the Bahamas, she teamed up with scuba divers and captured these stunning photos near the Ray of Hope shipwreck. Divers were on standby giving her oxygen anytime she needed it.
This is crazy because Chad went to college in Jacksonville, so we did some digging here. And look, there he is. Safe to say, you know, he had the ocean on his mind. Look at him holding up the tube.
That's awesome.
But you got the scuba.
Is that?
And that's actually
That's
Chad,
me, yeah.
isn't it? Yes.
Wow. That's really cool.
I like your erratic swimming.
Who
It's
made
like,
that?
There's a problem. I think Sean did that, Sean Higgins.
Good job, Sean.
Yes.
I did not know that they were doing that.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
No,
it
that's
was a
why I was
little
like, that's
surprise.
pretty cool.
That looks really good.
So look at the smile. He's saying prunes. No. What I wanted to do was we wanted to put like either your face on her or have you standing underwater. You know, like
Yeah.
that.
I like this. This
Yeah,
came
that's
out really
great.
well.
That's really cool.
Look at him. I want that. Anytime something goes wrong on the 45, just pop that
Just cut
up.
to that.
Just cut to
Anytime
that.
there's
It's
a
like the
technical
bars.
issue.
It's like the color bars.
Like color bars.
Or something.
It's not bars in tone, it's Chad in tone. That's what we want.
I mean, can we just talk about these
Yeah.
pictures?
I
though?
know.
Absolutely
incredible.
stunning.
I
I woke up
mean-
on this morning and I saw this on my Facebook timeline, and the first thing I thought was, is she actually underwater? And she is.
So,
I mean,
you know, not only
just
does she have to hold her breath for a long period of time until the divers come over, but she has to move until her hair gets in the right spot, right? Because she's underwater.
Yeah.
Her hair looks like it's styled in every picture.
Right.
I saw in a video they were giving her the oxygen. I wonder how long that lasts to be able to get the poses just
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Probably a former swimmer who can hold her
Yeah.
breath for 3, 5, 10 minutes at a time.
I
That
can
would
hold
help.
my breath long. We had like little competitions in our family, all of us trying it, and I got to the point where I was floating, you know, and doing it in a pool, and the twins would like shake me because they were worried, and I was like, no, I did it like 3 minutes or something. It was.
I don't think I could do it very long. We'll have to have a contest someday.
Yeah,
I would
if
guess.
it was a competition, I probably, because I like to win, could do it, but underwater and stuff, no.
You have to slow your heartbeat and get to the
Really?
moment of zen.
Just have to concentrate. Like,
Yes, you do. You have to also, I would release a little bit, and that makes your body feel like you're still breathing. And so if you just release a little and then stop for a little bit and I could go longer.
I heard that you have to make your mouth like prune.
Y'all are so silly. I remember at the beginning of COVID, I used to try to hold my breath. Remember that was one of the myths? Like if you
Oh,
could hold
that's
your breath
right.
for 10 seconds.
Yes.
then
Oh, that you
didn't
could,
have
right.
COVID.
Or you'd fare well if you got it.
Yeah.
Which is not true, by the way.
No.
We're coming right back. Oh, look at Chad.
Hey guys.
Mic check. Jalen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How do I sound, Brett? Brad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Welcome back to the 4 to 5, where during every commercial break we talk about food and eating. It is what we do.
All the time.
And now we're hungry.
I'm actually hungry now.
I am too.
Thanks for joining us on WFNY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFNY News 2 app.
Conversation that we're going to be talking about here on Facebook and on the 4 to 5 here. Are you looking forward to fall?
I love it.
I am. Favorite season.
Favorite season?
Yes.
Nice.
Not
okay.
too hot, not too cold.
That's it.
The
Perfect.
season for fashion, I feel like you can really like
High
wear
knee
your
boots.
jackets,
Like the
yeah,
sweaters again.
yeah.
Well, let us know in the Facebook comments if you're looking forward to fall, and we might share some of those in just a little bit.
Yeah, right now, we're going to get to a really cool story. Right now, students of all ages are heading back to school in Guilford County. Middle schoolers gathered for open house while younger kids have theirs tomorrow.
Lots of college students are already back in class, like at North Carolina A&T.
During move-in last week, excited students and supportive families gathered on campus showing off their Aggie pride. But for one North Carolina family, it runs deeper than that. WFNY News 2's Jalen Gilkey caught up with an A&T family that's 4 generations long.
From the very first time you step on the campus of North Carolina A&T, you can feel the sense of community, an undeniable school pride. But today, I met one North Carolina A&T family that takes Aggie pride to a whole new level.
We've had, I think we counted up this past weekend, 32 members of our family have attended A&T. And I believe we've had 26 graduate with 2 currently enrolled students. So for me, A&T truly does mean family.
For this family of Aggies, North Carolina A&T State University is much more than a place to get an education.
In your opinion, what does A&T mean to you and your family?
For all of us, I think it means home, family, good times, and connections. When we get together, of course, we always shout Aggie pride, and we always talk about how many Aggies we have. We all tend to go to homecoming as often as we can.
It's the family that I was born into, where we've had so many attend the university. And it also means the family that I chose while I was at the university. So I've made some lifelong connections, friends, and people that I consider my chosen family at A&T.
I grew up in California and actually currently reside in California. So I didn't actually see family on a regular basis. I'm an only child, grew up with just my parents, and going to A&T or selecting A&T was really a homecoming of sorts to really know my own like actual familiar roots.
And with 3 generations having already completed their journey through Aggieland, the 4th is prepared to carve out their own legacy on campus.
A&T has meant education and pride that my family could be educated at the #1 HBCU. So I'm just excited for this school year.
And although each generation's experiences may be different, one thing will always remain the same.
So 1, 2, 3.
Aggie pride.
And just in case you don't think you heard me correctly, there are 32 Aggies and counting in this family, which has to be some type of record, right?
That is awesome. Such a great story.
That is, so my father went to Carolina and I did, and of my 4 kids, now the twins, but totally different. I only have 2 more shots left.
There you go.
I'm putting pressure on Tyler and Drew. One of you, please.
I was
go.
wondering how that would be, you know, if there's some pressure that you put on the kids. I mean, I'm a first generation college student, so I didn't have any influence from parents or anybody. But I mean, how do you go about that?
Well, and so I told them, you know, it depends on what you're majoring in. You know, there are some schools that are better at one thing. That's why my kids, one went to Savannah, one went to Tennessee, because their particular majors, they needed to go there. And I'm okay with that, but it would be nice.
What I think is cool about this is it's just like a big reunion for everyone. You think about football games, you think about homecoming, you think about move-in day like this. It's just something that they can always come together and celebrate as a family.
Yeah, and so GHO happens to fall on several members of the family's birthday around that time every year. So every Sunday at the end of GHO, they all go do brunch together, celebrate each other's birthdays, and just love on each other. So it's amazing. When I heard this story, I was like, I gotta jump on this.
Yeah, I gotta get that.
Have to.
I love how y'all all did the chant at the end.
Yeah,
That was
pride.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's loud and proud, baby.
You know, it's funny, I know you're a sports guy like me, and so I grew up in my family, we would all watch the Carolina games together, and I can imagine that family. They're all over that. You know?
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
love that.
And there's nothing better than, you know, homecoming, football, central game, getting out there, just being amongst the fellow Aggies, and in their case, their family as well. So it's just best of both worlds.
And to see the little ones that had the pom-poms in the pictures, they're probably like, I'm going to be an Aggie.
Oh, she's a freshman this year, so that's why she's keeping it rolling.
Jalen, I used to try to sneak into the alumni concert whenever I got a chance.
Good luck, brother.
Oh, I had contacts. They got me in.
You are the man.
They got me in.
You know everybody.
I wanted to see the, well, that was my music. That's why I can't go to the new stuff.
Once again, great story, Jalen. And we're helping students and teachers start the year right with our Tools for School drive. Put newly purchased supplies in donation boxes at participating Walmart stores. We'll also have a one-day supply drive. That's tomorrow at the Walmart on Battleground Avenue. The supply drive runs through September 5th. Throughout the back-to-school season, we're focusing on stories that matter to parents the most. Let us know any concerns or questions you'd like us to cover. Just text the word survey to 336-379-5775 and we'll respond with a link to our parent survey.
All right, time now for your 4 to 5 roundup. First up today, someone stabbed a person at that Old Oaks Motel on Summit Avenue in Greensboro early this morning. Police say they have serious injuries. It's not clear whether police know of a suspect or a motive. High Point police arrested a man they believe killed a 32-year-old man. Investigators say Marcus Dilworth shot Terrence Parms yesterday afternoon on Garden Club Street. We first told you about this yesterday. Dilworth is charged with first-degree murder and possession of a firearm by a felon. A grand jury is considering criminal charges against Attorney General Josh Stein and 2 of his aides. The investigation stems from a political ad targeting Forsyth County District Attorney Jim O'Neill, who you'll remember ran against Stein for Attorney General in 2020. The ad accused O'Neill of letting Forsyth County sexual assault kits go untested amid a statewide backlog. Well, O'Neill claims the ad was dishonest and inaccurate because police are responsible for the test kits, not prosecutors. Stein argues against any wrongdoing and is asking the court to block the enforcement of this never-used statute. He claims it dates back to 1931 and has never been used before. So far, there are no charges in this case.
Turning now to the FBI investigation on former President Donald Trump. Right now, the former president is firing back with his first legal action challenging a recent search at his Florida home. Experts warn the situation could turn more severe as new reports show hundreds of classified documents recovered since January. 2 weeks after the FBI search of his Mar-a-Lago home, former President Trump is asking a federal court in Florida to stop federal investigators from reviewing the documents taken until a special master or a third-party attorney can be appointed. In the legal filing, he also requests that the FBI return any documents that went beyond the scope of the search warrant.
A special master would be almost like an extra judge to take an independent look at those.
The filing also reads as a political pitch ahead of a possible run in 2024, in which Trump's lawyers make unsubstantiated claims of investigators being partisan, saying law enforcement cannot be used as a weapon for political purposes, and go on to say that the matter at hand involves not only the constitutional rights of President Trump, but also the preservation of executive privilege. National security lawyer Bradley Moss.
By admitting this is really all just about executive privilege, Donald Trump is admitting these are official records, not personal records. This filing was all about trying to shore up his position with the Republican base and hoping that no one notices it's not properly constructed. It's going to get slammed by the judge.
So far, a U.S. official tells CBS News that the Justice Department has retrieved at least 150 classified documents from the boxes Trump handed over to the National Archives earlier this year. And the New York Times reports that since federal agents re-engaged with Trump's legal team this summer and then searched his home, that number has climbed with more than 300 documents with classified markings obtained by the Justice Department.
I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter.
The Justice Department released this statement after the motion was filed Monday, saying the search was authorized by federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. While the former president continued to rail into the search he called a break-in.
All he knows is to throw things at the wall and to try to file various motions or lawsuits to try to delay things. It's worked for him in the past. What the problem he's got here is it's a criminal investigation. A grand jury has been convened. Federal prosecutors already had to get a search warrant for his property. That's something he's never faced before.
Right now, a federal judge is reviewing a redacted version of the FBI search affidavit. If he decides to release it, we could learn more about who tipped agents off and possible charges.
Monique, I would say that today felt like the first day in a long time when it actually felt like summer. Obviously, this is my opinion, but I mean, it really felt like it out there.
Well, it felt nice outside, but the humidity wasn't really much of a factor as we went throughout the day today. Now, talking about summertime, one thing we haven't been talking about is the tropics. Do you remember Tropical Storm Colin? If you don't, it's okay. It formed back on July 2nd. It's the end of August. That's the last named storm we've talked about. Danielle would be the next one, but there's really not too much happening in the tropics right now. We have two areas with a very low chance of developing into something, but overall it has been a quiet stretch throughout the month of July and August. Really haven't talked about much, and things here at home have been much quieter. In fact, on a typical summer day, we would see some afternoon storms. Not so much today. It's completely dry. I'll take it though. We've needed a break. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of days, getting us a break for your Tuesday. As we go through the day on Wednesday, not expecting any additional activity as high pressure continues to be the dominant weather feature. Take notice as we go throughout the day today, temperatures staying in those upper 80s as of now, and then mid to upper 80s across the area. As we go into tonight, temperatures will fall. Few clouds here or there in the picture, but for the most part, we should stay mainly dry. Your Wednesday should be mostly dry as well. A very small chance of us seeing a light shower or storm.
All right, you know, it's the last unofficial week of summer, and if you're already tired of this long season, you are not alone. It's hot, that's a fact, but is the constant stickiness just an illusion? Never thought about this. WFMY News 2's Megan Malaris verifies.
The dog days of summer leave us howling for fall. Until this past week, Mother Nature brought 90-degree consecutive days with heat waves all across the country. Marginal cool downs and rain have given us little relief from this season of sweat. So viewer Diane observed this summer is, quote, hot and long, yes, but I don't think it's been as humid as it usually is. Is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are meteorologist Christian Morgan and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. NOAA's July 2022 Central North Carolina Climate Summary reports July had its 47th wettest July since 1895. Greensboro was nearly 3 inches above normal, Raleigh nearly 3.5, and temperatures were hot. Statewide, temperatures were 1 to 3 degrees above normal. So what does that mean for humidity?
Look at that just ever so gradual increase. The average dew point in the summer of 1950 was 65. Our average dew point so far in the year 2022 is about 66. So there's not a whole lot of change here, and it's really nothing out of the ordinary for North Carolina. Of course, look at the last 4 years. 2019, the average dew point was 68. 2020, the average dew point was 68. 67 in 2021, and 66 so far this summer.
So in conclusion, yes, it's true. It was marginally less humid this summer, but dew points haven't changed much in decades. We still have a lot of summer left. The first day of the fall equinox is September 22nd. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
I don't know, for me, summer in North Carolina is humid. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of know it's coming and you get through it and you deal with it. It's funny, by right now, this time of the year for me, this is when I'm ready for fall. Because usually in like March, I can't wait for warmer weather. And I love the beach, you know, and doing all that. But now I've had enough, and it's always time. I love fall when it's cool and crisp.
Love fall.
Love it.
I feel like we had that little tease, you know, about a week or so ago, so I'm definitely ready for it. As we said at the top of the hour, I like the fashions, the sweaters, the boots, and just being able to just go out without feeling that sweaty and heat, but it's not too cold either.
That's right.
So
I'm always conflicted every year around this time, because while I do enjoy fall for the cooler weather and I enjoy fall for the football seasons,
the pumpkin spice.
none of that. I know what's next, and so
Okay.
I hate winter.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to fall.
But sometimes we've been lucky the last few years where it wasn't too cold in the wintertime.
Yeah, we have been lucky, and you know, there are times that our Decembers can be fairly mild, but I don't know, we're due for a cold one.
Yeah,
we'll see.
They're bringing the music up. You better wrap up this speech.
It's like the Oscars.
We gotta go. We'll be right back. Gotta go. As summer ticks away, before you know it, the holidays, they will be here. No doubt, unwrapping all those gifts on Christmas morning leads to a major pile of trash.
This year, some popular toy makers hope to cut back plastic waste by taking a fresh look on green initiatives.
Toy makers are thinking outside the box by reimagining what their products are put in.
One of the things that we have done is change the container.
Isaac Larian is CEO of MGA Entertainment, the company behind the toy brand LOL Surprise. By this fall, 65% of the dolls will be in paper-based compostable packaging instead of plastic. The switch from plastic to paper packaging just for this toy brand eliminates 3 metric tons of plastic.
It's all paper.
Larian says they've applied the same principles to this Little Tikes race car set. Great. The cardboard box folds out to 50 feet and becomes part of the racetrack.
When kids or parents are finished with it, they just put it back in and it becomes a storage.
MGA is not alone. Mattel, makers of Matchbox and Barbie, is planning to reduce plastic packaging. And so is Hasbro, which has new boxes for some toys, including certain Marvel products.
This is a trend we're seeing in the toy industry and overall, and it's something that consumers really respond to.
Katie Thomas is with the Kearney Consumer Institute.
Why do you think consumers care about the packaging?
Well, the primary reason is that recycling tends to be what they still deem as the most sustainable action they can take.
For MGA Entertainment, the packaging switch is more expensive, but they are absorbing the cost. The toys are still plastic, but they're working on that.
We haven't figured out how to do the doll in paper, but we have work in progress that will have 100% biodegradable plastic coming down in a few years.
Larian plans to have eco-friendly materials in all products and packaging in the coming years.
That's really smart because that's a lot of plastic when you think about the dolls and just all the different boxes.
I will tell you that Christmas morning, there's 6 of us, so I think the pile is up to here. And
the
we're
garbage man's
y'all are trying to swim to your rooms.
We honestly have to buy this giant holiday bag. I mean, this thing's like this big to put everything in. It looks like a Santa Claus pack by the time we're finished with it.
I'm all for this. I just hope that they can figure out a way how to get rid of those dumb, extra hard plastic containers that you can't open.
Yes.
And then you try to cut scissors with it. I mean, my scissors aren't even strong enough to cut through it.
And you cut yourself on the plastic. It's so hard.
It's sharper than scissors sometimes.
It is. I agree. That guy, the LOL doll guy, Drew went through a period where she loved those things. He came up with that idea, and he went to a marketing team and he said, we don't want to do television ads. And they said, you're crazy. It needs to be in all the cartoons and all the Cartoon Network and all that. He did nothing but send free samples to people that do what's called unboxing videos on YouTube. All they do is unwrap new gifts and show the kid what it looks like, and he made hundreds of millions
That's
of
a
dollars.
smart idea.
Yeah.
Wait, how can I get into that gig?
I know.
The YouTube gig where unboxing.
Well,
Can we do like adult gifts too? I mean, or is just kids gifts?
It can be, I guess it could be anything, but kids love it. And so some of these are adults, and all you see is 2 pairs of hands, and they go, oh, this is really nice. And they just open up a gift.
So do you have to be like an influencer to get the gift or something?
Yes.
We're trying to figure out how to
Well,
get into
they buy them in the beginning, and then after that, if you start getting all these kids watching, then they send it to you for free. And these people are making $2 and $3 million a year unwrapping toys.
All right, let's look it up. We'll be right back. Oh, what's that?
I'm not sure what that is, but it was neat.
Where's the Chad?
It feels like 86 in the Triad, but in Phoenix, it feels like 104. So although it doesn't feel like the hot and humid summer-like weather that we usually feel, it's still warm. We're happy to not be over there, right? Where temperatures are feeling in the 90s. High pressure settling in, making for a nice weather day. Today, expecting the same story to repeat again tomorrow, with things staying dry and the radar not getting too busy, maybe seeing some more clouds at times. But overall, your Wednesday should remain mainly dry. Could see a stray shower or two, but overall, it should be a dry day. Minor tweaks in the forecast each day, whether it's just a degree warmer, a degree cooler, a storm chance greater, or a storm chance lower. It's a very consistent forecast for the next several days.